Hello everyone, welcome to Study Quest. Today is 25 August 2025 and in this video I am going to explain Assam Tribune Editorial which is important for your APSC mains exam. And today in this article we will discuss about timeless teachings of Deva written by Dr. Pranjal Hazarika, and this topic will be important for your GS5 Assam part. Today I am giving you the question first because this topic is not new for you. You all are aware of this famous personality of Assam. So the question is discuss the major teachings of Deva and critically analyze their contemporary relevance in the 21st century. So you know about the teachings of Srimanto Deva, and his teachings were not just spiritual but also socio-cultural teachings which aims at human unity, ethical living, and social reform. And in the 21st century, when society is facing rising intolerance, materialism, and environmental crisis, his philosophy offers valuable lessons. So, in this article, we will see about it, and then you will write your answers in your own words. So today's article, Timeless Teachings of Deva, written by Dr. Pranjal Hazarika, said that the 15th century saint reformers' philosophy of inclusivity, humanism, and devotion remains a timeless guide. So this article will be useful for your GS paper 5 Assam and also for the ethics because of the philosophical ideas of Deva. Let's see what Dr. Pranjal Hazarika has written in his article. So in the intro part, he just gave a gist of the article that as Assam comes together to observe the Tirobhav Tithi of Srimant Deva, the air carries not just the memories of a saint but the living essence of a reformer who reshaped an entire society. More than 5 centuries have passed since Deva's time, yet his teachings of devotion, inclusivity, and cultural unity resonate as urgently today as they did when they were first spoken in the villages of Assam. His message was not confined to spiritual pursuit alone, but it was a way of building compassionate, egalitarian community. Then he said about the birth of Deva and how he developed or reformed the society. So here he said that we know that Deva was born in 1449, and as he grew up, he saw that the society was fragmented by caste hierarchies, rigid rituals, and sectarian divides. And religion for the common people was actually inaccessible. That is, they were locked behind the layers of orthodoxy. So, into this atmosphere, Deva brought his message of Ekoharna Nam Dharma, the path of devotion to a single God, that is Vishnu or Krishna. And he opened the gates of spiritual fulfillment, not just for the privileged few, but for everyone. That is, the farmers, artisans, fishermen, and even those shunned as outcasts. Then he said that in the Kirtan Ghosha, that is his most celebrated compilation of devotional verses, he proclaimed that the spread of God's name delivers all people. Men of every caste can attain the essence of Krishna's faith. And this was not just merely a poetry, but it was a bold declaration that dismantled centuries of social inequality. And even in today's world, still scarred by the discrimination and exclusion, these words remain a call for universal dignity. So, Deva's reform was the idea that devotion should not be burdened by the hollow rituals or the rigid codes. And he believed in the purity of heart over the complexity of ceremonies. So, through his collection of singing like the Nam Kirtan, then prayers and storytelling, he simplified religion into a deeply human experience. Okay. Then he reminded his followers in the Kirtan Ghosh that there is no one but one God, one service, and no one exists apart from him. And his vision of unity strikes at the root of intolerance. So, in a time when societies were divided along the lines of faith, caste, or identity, Deva's voice urged to look beyond differences and find oneness in the divine. So Hankardeva's movement was unique because he used art and culture as instrument of reform. He was not only a saint but also a poet, playwright, musician, and painter. And his Ankyanads and Borgades brought profound spiritual lessons to the common people in accessible aesthetic ways. The creations of Namghars and Hotros, commonly the prayer halls and the monastic institutions, remained one of his most enduring legacies. And these were not just the religious spaces, but they were acting as the centers of education, art, and democratic decision making. So today Namghars actually continue to serve as the moral and cultural heart of the Assamese villages, offering a model of participatory community life that modern societies can learn from. Now let's see what 21st century can learn from Hankardeva's learning. The 21st century faces crises that are spiritual as much as they are material, and conflicts, ecological exploitation, and the erosion of values threaten human coexistence. So Hankardeva's life and teachings provide an antidote to each of these elements, and his doctrine of Ekaharna Nam Dharma teaches the worship of one God through love and surrender. So, in emphasizing devotion over dogma, he dissolved his rigidities that breed conflict. Today, this spirit can help heal the social polarization. Okay, then in the Gita, it reminds us that a person who is not disturbed by happiness and distress and is steady in both is certainly eligible for liberation. And in a time of material obsession, Hankardev also echoed his wisdom and urged people to root themselves in inner balance, warning against the blind pursuit of wealth and status. So amid the now here comes the ecological crisis. So amid ecological crisis, his verses and plays overflow with reverence of nature, that is the rivers, forests, animals, etc., all of which were seen as integral to the divine order. And in an era of climatic crisis, his worldview inspires us to see the environment as sacred rather than exploitable. So many reformers were there in India who were demanding renunciation, but Hankardev sanctioned everyday existence. So for him, a farmer tilling the soil or a mother singing to her child could be as much an act of devotion as chanting in a temple. And he saw divinity in action, in song, in community. And in the Kirtan Ghosh, he reminded us that if one does not chant Krishna's name despite having a human birth, life is wasted. What fruit can such a birth yield? And the line resonates deeply in modern times when many struggle to find meaning amid rapid change. And Shankardeva's call is not to abandon the world but to enrich it with devotion and compassion. And today's Assam honors Srimanto Hankardeva. The challenge is to practice his values beyond ceremonial tributes. Schools can draw from his vision of holistic learning that blends arts, spirituality, and ethics, and what community can learn from the Namghar models of collective responsibility and democratic decision making. And families can nurture bonds of love and compassion inspired by his teachings. And most importantly, individuals can rediscover the strength of simple devotion, that is the kind that transcends barriers, uplifts society, and sanctifies life itself. And Hankardev was not just a saint of 15th century Assam, he was a global visionary, and his philosophy of inclusivity, humanism, and devotion remains a timeless guide. And on this day, remembering him is not only to honor a towering figure of Assamese heritage, but also to embrace the possibility of a more humane future. Now you know so much about Hankardeva's teaching. I think you will be able to write the answer. So write your answer and get it checked by your mentors or your friends. And we will meet in the next video. Till then, take care.